So today we're stepping out of the grand landscapes and into something a bit more intimate and accessible. And look, while I absolutely love capturing huge epic vistas, it's really important to remember that stunning photography can happen anywhere, even in your local woodland.
And with my trusty little point and shoot camera, today we're going to explore that exact sentiment. Why you don't need epic locations and epic vistas and epic gear as well, for that matter. We might as well chuck that in to get good photographs. And perhaps more importantly, you don't need any of that to enjoy the photography experience. So yeah, welcome to my beautiful little local woodland. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Henry Turner. I'm a full-time professional landscape photographer, and admittedly, you would usually find me in epic locations up and down Britain. Now, I think it's really important for me to say this from the very beginning. I love epic. I love big grand vistas. I love traveling with my camera. I love going to these, in many cases, really popular places that a lot of people go to with the cameras because they inspire me. But what I wanted to really get across in this video is that they are not be all and end all of photography. And one thing that I always go back to is to think about myself when I was a beginner. I'd say there was probably a stage of a good few months, perhaps even years, where I thought genuinely that it was necessary to go to all of these epic locations, and there wasn't really any other choice. You couldn't get good photographs in your local woodland or in sort of unassuming locations. But that is the myth that I want to debunk, let's say, in today's video. So I got a couple of images recently, within the past month I'd say. And first image was of a little bit of sea thrift on the Isle of Mull in Scotland, and it was just such a joy to photograph. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It felt like something different, and it reminded me of this whole sentiment, this theme, this concept that we're talking about today. You don't need epic to get good photographs and to enjoy the experience of photography. And in last week's video, I got this image, which was kind of a close-up photograph with this little Canon G9X, by the way. And again, it just reminded me of this concept. I loved that photograph. I loved the detail in the flower. And you know what? It filled me with inspiration, and that's why I'm out here today in my local woodland. So you maybe just saw me a second ago trying to get an image of some of these beautiful holly leaves here. They are just reflecting the light so perfectly. In fact, it's quite overcast today, so the light is nice and subtle. And quite like the sea thrift photograph and the image of the little dewberry flower that I just showed you, this image has got a sort of a macro feel to it as well. And the leaves are fantastic. Holly leaves in general, they've just got a sort of waxy look to them, and it is just brilliant. So I'm getting as close in as I can with the little G9X, 1/80th of a second, which is fine. There's not too much wind. ISO is on about 200, and I've actually stopped down ever so slightly to f4.5. Now, I'm in my local woodland today, first and foremost, because I love it. I think it's great to photograph. It's a brilliant experience to be out and about, even with the little camera, you know, it's fantastic. However, and I feel like I really want to mention this in this video, I want to speak objectively about your chances of getting good photographs. I feel like it's no secret that if I'm in, I don't know, North Wales in the Ogwen Valley, photographing Trefan, and there's sort of epic cascades in the foreground, you know, everything just looks big and epic and fantastic. You know, especially in the Ogwen Valley, I've got some of my favourite photographs, and I'm really, really proud of them. Of course I am. However, you can get good photographs anywhere. Some of the best photographs that I think that I've taken have been in places that are, yeah, a little bit more humble, a little bit more modest, so to speak, you know, places where I perhaps didn't expect to get anything good. But more than that, I guess what I really, really want to focus on in this video is probably the fact that most of us, and please let me know down in the comments about this, Most of us don't practice landscape photography because we want to go out and get good photographs. And sometimes I think that sounds silly, but this is definitely the case from my own experience. I enjoy being out with my camera, and getting good photographs is just a bonus. And that's what I love about just coming to your local woodland. Not always feeling like you have to go to these epic destinations. It just feels so inclusive. Anyone can do it. Just get yourself a little rubbish camera and get out in your local area. Take intimate images, exactly like I'm doing today. You're still winning. You're still practicing landscape photography. It's still meditative, like it is for me today. And yeah, it's not epic. I might leave with rubbish photographs. However, I'm still out here, and that's all that matters, you know. I don't know if you can hear that. No word of a lie. Pretty much the second after I stopped recording that little piece there about how epic it is to go out locally, it has started chucking it down. That is the universe's way of telling me, you know you're not going to get any good photographs unless you go to epic locations. But no, it's a lie. In fact, have a look at this. I was looking at this sort of wider scene that you could see there to perhaps take a photograph, and I may come back to it in a second. But can you see that little leaf there just twinkling on that rock? It caught my eye. I mean, it's quite bright, isn't it, the way it's reflecting the light? And look at that. Look how cool that is. I just think that is absolutely gorgeous with the little water droplets on it. So I've pretty much just got the camera in aperture priority, auto ISO. I'm sort of keeping an eye on the ISO, making sure it's not flying up, but it's fine, you know. And again, just got it in like a little square crop. Absolute wally. So yeah, f2, 180th of a second again. ISO is actually only on 160, so it's fine. And I'll probably just take, yeah, a few shots of this. Oh man, I just think that looks absolutely gorgeous. That is everything that I'm talking about today. Yes, it's not an epic photograph. It might not be one of, oh, look at the light on that leaf, man. That looks beautiful. Happy with that, very happy with that. So if you don't mind, I would love to ask a quick favour of you guys. I have recently written a blog post. I've got a few blogs, but this one's taken me ages. And all it is my top 10 photography spots in Scotland. Simple as that. Now, rather than sharing the link to my blog, I would appreciate it if you could go onto Google and search top 10 photo spots in Scotland. Best photographs in Scotland, where to do landscape photography in Scotland, anything like that, and just keep scrolling until you find my article. It is called Top Photo Spots in Scotland, and then click on it. It'll just help me out on Google. It'll help people to see my blog. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you'd like to read it, please read it. I'd be grateful for that as well, not just click off it as soon as you go on it. The purpose of it is obviously to be read, and I hope you like it. Oh, that rain's getting heavier. I've just thought of a really good analogy. I'm really into running, and I don't run to get fast, even to get fitter. I run because I enjoy running. You know, bit of a side note, but same as a lot of things with photography, I just like being outside. Now, if I do get fitter, if I do get faster times, it's just a bonus, but that's not what I'm going for. I'm going because I enjoy the experience of running for the most part. And that's the same as photography. Like I said earlier, good photographs, yes please, I'll take them, but it's not like the be all and end all. The primary, as this hobby, or living as it is for me, I'm very fortunate to say that, has always been a passion because I love it. I just love being out with my camera. And I suppose in terms of tips and things like that, especially if you're out in this sort of location where it isn't incredible, it isn't mind-blowing, is try and focus so hard on things like composition, on light. In this sort of scenario, you could really focus on framing. In fact, it's a good little segue, I suppose, but I have got an ebook on composition. A little bit of a secret, if you sign up to my newsletter, you'll get a little discount on the ebook. But yeah, go and check that out. It'll be in the video description below. And also, I'd really love to know how you feel about this whole thing. you know what, over the years, from all of your wonderful comments down in, you know, under the videos and stuff, which I'm so grateful for, I've always got this impression that so many of yous are actually not that bothered by epic locations. And I mean that in a real positive way. You're just so comfortable going out locally and, again, enjoying the experience of photography, of being out with your camera, you know. And I think, I may have mentioned this before, but I just feel like there's so much power actually in that mindset of, I don't need epic locations. All I'm wanting to do is go out and take a few shots with my camera. It's something that I always want to try and get better at. And actually, for those of you that comment that all the time, and I always read other people saying that and watch other YouTube videos of people saying that, I find that so inspiring. So yeah, thank you for that inspiration. That's class. Now, I mentioned a second ago that I like running. If you would like to see me out running with this little camera that I've got today, where I talk about the camera a little bit more in depth, that'll be up there on the screen. If not, thank you so much for tuning in. I have got to start running out of this rain and get back to the car because it's heavy. See you on the next adventure. Out.